It always seems impossible until it's done. Education is the most powerful weapon, which you can use to change the world. There is no passion to be found playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. Where globalization means, as it so often does, that the rich and powerful now have new means to further enrich and empower themselves at the cost of the poorer and weaker, we have a responsibility to protest in the name of universal freedom. As long as poverty, injustice and gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. Let there be work, bread, water and salt for all. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death, again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. Without education, your children can never really meet the challenges they will face. So it's very important to give children education, and explain that they should play a role for their country. Only free men can negotiate. A prisoner cannot enter into contracts. Any man or institution that tries to rob me of my dignity will lose. If there is a country that has committed unspeakable atrocities in the world, it is the United States of America. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. Running taught me valuable lessons. In cross-country competition, training counted more than intrinsic ability, and I could compensate for a lack of natural aptitude with diligence and discipline. I applied this in everything I did. There is nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. I was not a messiah, but an ordinary man who had become a leader because of extraordinary circumstances. There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile to continue talking about peace and non-violence against a government whose only reply is savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people. I have retired, but if there's anything that would kill me, it is to wake up in the morning not knowing what to do. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. In countries where innocent people are dying, the leaders are following their blood rather than their brains. There are times when a leader must move out ahead of the flock, go off in a new direction, confident that he is leading his people the right. I dream of the realization of the unity of Africa, whereby its leaders combine in their efforts to solve the problems of this continent. I dream of our vast deserts, of our forests, of all our great wildernesses. I am confident that nobody will accuse me of selfishness if I ask to spend time while I am still in good health, with my family, my friends and also with myself. Whatever position I occupied, it was the result of colleagues, of my comrades in the movement, who had decided in their wisdom to use me for the purpose of focusing the attention of the country and the international community on me. Give a child love, laughter and peace, not AIDS. Our daily deeds as ordinary South Africans must produce an actual South African reality that will reinforce humanity's belief in justice, strengthen its confidence in the nobility of the human soul, and sustain all our hopes for a glorious life for all. Intervention only works when the people concerned seem to be keen for peace. I do not deny that I planned sabotage. I did not plan it in a spirit of recklessness nor because I have any love of violence. I planned it as a result of a common sober assessment of the political situation that had arisen after many years of tyranny, exploitation and oppression of my people by the whites. People respond in accordance to how you relate to them. If you approach them on the basis of violence, that's how they'll react. But if you say, we want peace, we want stability, we can then do a lot of things that will contribute towards the progress of our society. There are so many men and women who hold no distinctive positions, but whose contribution towards the development of society has been enormous. Even if you have a terminal disease, you don't have to sit down and mope. Enjoy life and challenge the illness that you have. On the first day of school, my teacher, Miss Mdingane, gave each of us an English name and said that from thenceforth, that was the name we would answer to in school. This was the custom among Africans in those days and was, undoubtedly due to the British bias of our education. I have cherished the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony, and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. In my country we go to prison first and then become president. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will.